All right. So for this evening, we're going to start on our back. You'll need 2 blocks for practice today. At some point, you'll need your blocks. You're going to start with your blanket though, and we're going to start with a nice heart opener. So choose. You have, as always, unlimited options. I'm going to show you about 2. So this is how my blankets look normally. If you want more of a heart opener, you can take it from this position. You'll roll it up and then you'll stick it on the floor, but it'll kind of work its way. I think about making it like right under the shoulder blades and almost like you were like your arms could rest above it like they would on the back of a couch. If you want less, if you're feeling super stiff in your upper body for any reason, this is how my blanket looks mostly. I'm going to unroll it one time and then do the same roll, but you'll just have like less of a lift. So you can set that up if neither one of those things sound divine to you. Deb's like, I am on it. I was 4 steps ahead of you on that one. Right on. So get set up as as comfy as you can. The blanket leaves me closer to the ground. So this is how it works in my body. But the reason I preferred this choice for today is I have the ability to really send my arms out wide. And then I feel that delightful opening across the top of the chest. So look for that. And if you're not getting this big, huge opening, and you know something else that will give you that quality of expanding across the chest, good sounds over here. Make an adjustment. And start to settle into whatever you've chosen for yourself, whatever makes the most sense on a physical level and a energetic level. Let your awareness move inward, turn towards the things that are happening within you and less of the things that are happening in the past or in the future, the things that are happening outside of you. And for me, the most obvious entry point is the breath. Maybe you're someone who can really easily tune into like cellular regeneration. For me, it's just breathing. And you have lots of entry points with the breath. You can bring your awareness to the way air feels moving in and out through the nostrils. You can tune into the rise and the fall of the belly. You can count the breath. Just do something that helps you connect to your reality in this moment. Start to let the shoulders, the jaw, the neck, the throat, let those spaces really soften. Notice what's happening in the hands. And, and if there's a way for you to be a little bit more receptive, a little less active, a little more passive. Bring your awareness, please, to the back of the heart, space between the shoulder blades, and let yourself get really subtle with your awareness. Imagine really being inside of your chest cavity and feeling the heart beating on the floor beneath you. And just the few of us that we know are synchronously sharing this practice in this moment, the way that we're connected through this giant green earth, and then also the connection that we share with every single other being on the planet. Just think about the enormity of that. Put a hand over your heart. It doesn't matter which one to me. Just as a gesture of being intentional for the next hour in your practice. And in some capacity, having the bigger intention of your impact in the time you spend off of your mat. Things you practice here, they show up in other ways. And then with one hand or both hands, you can hold your blanket as you kind of slither down your mat. Let your blanket become a little neck rest. And then cross your, or put your feet on the floor if they weren't already. I didn't give you any instructions about your legs, just so you have knees bent. Put your right ankle on top of your left thigh. And if this feels like just the right amount of hip opener for you, can stay here. The other invitation is to let the figure four shape drop over to the left. And I always want to hold on to my right ankle with my left hand here and really move the right knee kind of away from me and towards me. There's so much sticky stuff in the right hip. This feels like a really safe, non-weight bearing place to explore. And if you stayed in a figure four shape with your left foot on the floor, a way to explore your hip in that orientation to gravity is by really rocking weight along the sacrum. So rocking weight all the way to the right, all the way to the left. Just feeling what that's like. And take a couple breaths in that perfect place of enough stickiness and achiness and without pain, without torture. Big breath in, big breath out. That's your intention at work, breathing through discomfort. And then rock the figure four shape up. If you let it fall over to the side, send your right leg to the sky. Just make an ankle circle and put your right foot down to meet your left foot. Push into the feet, shift your hips over a little bit to the right, and then let the knees drop over to the left. Very simple more here. Extend your right leg all the way to the left, kick through your heel, Feel the outer part of the leg, your IT band. Stress. Stress is a good thing here. And wherever you are, rock back through center. Pause for a moment, feel the difference from side to side. You can shift your hips back through center. Take a big breath in. Let it go. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh and stay right here. Kind of shift the weight along the bottom of the sacrum, or you can let your figure four drop over to the right this time. Same invitations apply. Notice places where you're gripping, right? That our response, our unconscious or automatic responses to anything that causes us any kind of discomfort is always like to tense up. So in yoga, we get this felt practice of what it's like to really reflect and not react, or do both at the same time. And you get to choose. Last moment here, you can rock your way back through center. As you're ready, left leg straight up to the sky. You can make one ankle circle in both directions, just a little tease. And then left foot to the floor. Shift the hips a little bit to the left, so you can drop both knees over to the right. Just take a very simple supine twist. If you want to extend your left leg long, kick through the heel. Feel the outer part of the leg, the AT band. Stress. Oh. And then calm back to center. Hug your knees into your chest and start to rock your way up to sit on your bottom, feet to the floor. You can take hold of the backs of the legs, the hamstrings. You can move your blanket off to the side. And then super simple cat and cow here as you exhale. Let yourself rock back, hollow the belly round into the spine as you inhale. Pull the legs towards you, float the chest up. Maybe even look up, chin up. Exhale, round into the back. Curl the tailbone underneath you. Two more, inhale. And exhale. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, boat pose. Hands forward, rock back. Shins parallel to the ground. Flex your toes. Draw your belly in. Fingertips soften your shoulders, soften your jaw. Good. We'll take two more breaths here. Lift your shins a little higher. Wrap the blade edges of your feet back as the balls of your feet reach forward. Last breath. As you quadruped, very fancy word for all fours. I'm sure you've all heard this a million times, but I'm all about that Peloton app. And they say quadruped every time without fail. Just like I say Peloton, I do the Peloton app every time without fail. All right, neutral spine here. We already did our cats and cows. Extend your right leg straight back behind you. Draw your belly in. Notice if your belly a bit. Right leg all the way over to the left. Tap as far as you can to the left. Inhale the leg back through center. As you exhale, tap your right knee to your right tricep. Inhale, sit back tricep. Inhale, sweep it back, tap. Exhale, knee to tricep. Inhale, lengthen right side body, tap. Exhale, knee to tricep. Two more, inhale, now I'm sweating. Exhale, tap, one more. Inhale. Exhale, tap, pause. Straighten and strengthen the arms. Keep your knee connected to your tricep. Just rock forward a tiny bit, shoulders in line with fingertips. Scoop the knee up a little higher. Ooh. Inhale the leg all the way back, your toes down on the ground. Swivel your left shin to a kickstand position. Right heel comes down. Just a modified side plank, right fingertips to the sky. And bend your right elbow, bring the hand to the base of the skull, lean your head back, lean your upper body back, feel a big stretch. Connect through the knife edge of your right foot. Good, exhale, look down, right hand down, come back to quadruped, inhale, collect yourself, exhale, send the left leg back. Tap the left foot to the right, inhale through center, exhale, knee to tricep. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, tap. Lengthen. Exhale, tap. We'll start coordinating movement to breath. Inhale, tap. Exhale, knee to tricep. We have 4 more. Last 2. And 1. The next time your knee lands on your tricep, pause, hollow out your belly, straighten and strengthen your arms, shift forward a little bit, knee a little higher on the tricep. Good. Inhale, extend it back. Right leg like a kickstand, left heel to the ground, left fingertips sweep up. You can bring your hand to the base of your skull or the crown of your head. Just give yourself something to really lean back into. Let it feel good here. Good, come back through center, left hand down, tuck your toes from here. This will be a little bit different for all of us. Come off the wrists, seat to heels with toes tucked, big foot stretch. And then your hands can walk back. Some of us might be able to actually stand up here with the toes tucked. Pretty uncomfortable for the feet, the Achilles heels. My last moment here. Let it go. Come back to table, tuck your toes, send your hips to the sky. Downward facing dog pose. We won't be here for too long. You can pedal out the heels. You can shift weight from side to side. You can do anything here that feels quite right to you. What I care the most about is that your front body and your back body and your side bodies are lengthening. So avoid the temptation of like really dumping into the low back. Bring your belly to your spine, knit your ribs in, feel how that lengthens the low back. Wonderful. Step your right foot forward to the top of the mat. Make sure your blocks are nearby as you transition. You can stay tented up on fingertips here. And then from your right lunge position, really hollow out the belly, look down the front body, just round into the spine. Feel the way that opens up the front of that. You feel it? Good. And then, and then walk your hands up onto your hips. Use your hands on either side of your hips to kind of draw the hips manually in towards the midline. And then instead of in, push your hips down, like you're sinking the bottom half of you deeper, and lift up through the crown of the head against that resistance. Keep your right hand as it is. Send your right hip in towards the midline and down a little bit. Reach your left arm to the sky, and then take a lean to the right. So your right hand is keeping your right hip spacious, stable. Breathe in. As you exhale, reach your left arm forward and down, plant it underneath the shoulder head. Sweep your right arm back, and then open up into a twist. Circle your right arm overhead, plant it outside your right hand or your right foot, grab your blocks, and then shift your right leg straight. Hamstring stretch. So same thing here as we just did in the downward facing dog. Notice if your back body's rounding a lot and can you try from the pubic bone, sternum, to lengthen your front body? Lengthen your right waist, your left waist. Keep your breath spacious. Be right here. Trace the breath in and out for 2, 1. Stay for the exhale. Inhale, bend into the knee, toes, lift your left knee, and skip your left foot in like halfway. Blocks can be up on any height. Walk your blocks all the way over to the right. Let your hips kind of shift to the left as you walk your hands to the right, so you'll feel that big IT band stretch. Glue the big toe ball down of your right foot down and push into your left heel. So like a right IT band stretch, a left side body stretch, all kinds of things. Walk your hands back to your left foot forward to meet your with asymmetry for just a moment. Let yourself hang. You can take opposite elbows. And then roll your way up to stand. Send your arms to the sky. Carry your hands down to heart center. Release them down at your sides. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, dive forward over the legs. Inhale your hands to your shins, find a flat back. As you exhale your palms, keep your right foot between your hands, step just your left foot back, little weight bearing core work here. Scoop your right heel in towards your right sits bone. So one-legged plank, scoop the knee in and up. And then just like we did in that knee tapping the tricep situation, shift the shoulders forward. Inhale, send your right leg back. Exhale, lower all the way to the belly. A little back bend. Start small. Let's do big. Let your neck lengthen. Let your jaw soften. Breathe in. Exhale, forehead to the mat. Inhale, shift your and back through tabletop or downward facing dog. And exhale. Child's pose. Table or child's on your way to down dog. And we're still sitting with some asymmetry, so check that out. Side 2, look forward, step your left foot between your palms, lower the right knee to the ground, tent up on fingertips, round into the back, really gaze down the front body. One more breath here. Climb your hands up onto your hips. Your back toes can stay tucked or untucked, whatever you're doing, push into that foot and keep the opening of the front of the thigh. Use your hand to slide inward. You're rooting your own hips down. Lift the crown of the head, lift the chest up. Use your left hand to keep the left hip crease sliding in and down. Right arm to the sky, breathe in. Lean over to the left. Circle the hand in front of you, shift forward. Plant it just underneath the shoulder, sweep the left hand back, up. Plant it alongside the outside of the left foot on blocks. And then half split, shift your left leg to straight. And your work here, this is very felt. Front body, back body, side body, side body. Create space. It doesn't have to look like anything. You're just creating space where there wasn't any. Creating awareness where there wasn't any. Last one, in and out. Bend into the knee. Step your right foot about halfway forward. Straighten your left leg and then walk your hands all the way over to the left. They're like outside the left foot. push your left leg straight, or as straight as you can get it. Big toe ball now stays glued down. Right heel stays glued down. Lots of things happening here. Walk your hands forward. Step your right foot to meet your left foot. Soften your knees, just hang. You can take opposite elbows. Roll your arms to the sky. Look up. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Release them down at your sides. We move. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinge and fold. Find a halfway lift from here. Plant your palm, left foot in core plank. Knee moves up and forward. Arms are straight and strong. Shift shoulders forward in line with your fingertips. Take a breath in. Step back, left foot meets right foot, lower to the belly. Baby cobra or teenage cobra. Shoulders soft, elbows bent, legs engaged. Exhale. Downward facing dog is where we'll meet. Good, big inhale. Open your mouth, exhale, sigh out. Inhale, rise to the balls of your feet. Soften the knees as you look forward, walk or step your way to the top of the mat. We'll land in a forward fold together. Inhale, bring your hands to your shins. Find your flat back, lengthen the whole back body. Exhale, fold, inhale, rise to stand, arms to the sky. Keep moving, exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands to the mat, right foot steps back, left foot steps back. You're in plank pose. Exhale, lower all the way, or pause at halfway chaturanga. Inhale for up dog or baby cobra. Legs engaged, inner hands heavy. Exhale down. Big breath in. Open mouth, sigh out. One more breath. Walk or step, maybe take a little hop. Feet land at the top of your mat. Find a flat back. Hold onto yourself. Inhale, come all the way to stand. We'll do one more sun A. Exhale, fold. Just keep moving, slow. Inhale. As you exhale, plant your palm, step your left foot back this time, right foot back. You know where we're going. If you find yourself missing a beat, take an extra breath wherever you are, right? Move with your breath, not the pace I'm setting. That's less important. Good. We'll meet in dog. Wrap the elbows in. So you're making more space at the top of your head, more of your neck. Look forward, prepare. Come to stand. Or come to the top of your mat, forward fold. Halfway lift. Let it go. Come all the way up to stand. We'll pause here with hands together in front of the heart, eyes closed. Just feel. Feel your heart beating into your thumbs from the front. Feel the space between the back of the heart. Felt experience of connection. Release your hands down at your sides. Link open your eyes. Hands to hips, please. So just like we did in the low lunge, use your hands. We're going to take tree pose in a moment. So focus on your hip stability. Use your hands to narrow the outer hips in And maybe you'll notice what happens as the left knee externally rotates. Let's do this together. Pick the left knee up, while to the left. So for a lot of us, the left hip probably hikes up a little bit. Bend the knee, bring the foot anywhere along the inside of the right leg. There's no hard and fast rules here. And then readjust so that you have the feedback of your hands to position your hips where you want them to be. And then same thing, ground the hips, lift up through the crown of your head. Use your core. Push your foot into your leg into your foot. Push down through your right foot. You have a strong standing leg. Last breath here. We're going to transition. Spin your left knee in, keep your hands on your hips. Not warrior three, just thread the left leg all the way towards the back of the mat. Let the toes find the ground. Use your hands, plug the hips in even here. Spin the left heel down, straighten your right leg, turn your right toes in. Left toes face the back of the mat. Like warrior two, bend into your left knee, but keep using your hands to really engage the hips. Now, for me, I can feel what my right glute is doing, and I can ask it wholeheartedly to turn on. Sink a little deeper into your left knee. Draw your belly in, curl your tailbone under ever so slightly. Good. Push your left leg straight. Turn your left toes in. Hips in, elbows in, chest opens. As you exhale, float forward into a fold. Release your left hand to find your right shin. Right hand finds the left shin. You might have to shorten yourself a little bit, that's fine. Bend your knees, stick your butt back. And then with your hands, pull your legs in. With your legs, resist the hands away. So feel the glutes really turn on. And then send the hips to the sky. Lift your arms, keep them crisscrossed. Take an eagle wrap, backs of the hands or palms touch. Lift your elbows up, look over your right shoulder. Turn your right toes to face forward, bend into your right knee. Warrior two, kind of. Send your elbows towards the left as you look over your right shoulder even more. And then like you were trying to thread your head between your arms, lift your elbows up. You can release the clasp of your hands. Right elbow up, left hand finds the right elbow behind you. Straighten your right leg here, tilt up and back, big tricep stretch, big side body stretch. Yum. Bend into the right knee. Release your right hand to a block in front of you. We're taking half moon, left hand to your hip again. Skip your left foot in and moves forward, and then left leg can float up. So you have that right leg as your standing leg. Recall tree pose. Push down, lift out of your right hip, lengthen your right side body, and then push your left foot into something imaginary behind you, maybe left fingertips to the sky. Lengthen your right side body. Lots to think about here. Do what you can. Good. Softly, softly, softly bend into your right knee. Take a big step back, land in warrior two, a very traditional shape. Flip your right palm from here, sail up and back with your right knee bent. Bend deeper into your right knee as your right fingertips reach up, 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 up. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down to frame your right foot. Spin up onto the ball of your left foot, and then right leg up and back to the sky for down dog split. Bend your knee, open your hip. Keep your left armpit lifting. Square your hips. Right leg moves straight back behind you. Inhale, ripple forward to plank. As you exhale, lower to the belly. The tops of both feet down. Slide your forearms forward like Sphinx. And then bend your right knee. So there should be a thigh stretch here for everyone. Even though your right knee is bent and you don't have your hands on it, that's okay. Pin your pubic bone down. Curl your tailbone down towards your left heel. And then squeeze the inner thighs in towards the midline. So a little bit of a break. Good. Look over your right shoulder. Slide the right leg all the way to the right and then up towards hip height. So you have like an inner grin opener. You can stay right here. Option for a shoulder opener. Thread the needle, right fingertips over to the left and come down onto your right cheek. You can make a pillow. Then don't do it. One more breath here. Good. Slide your right leg back to meet your left leg. Unthread the needle if you threaded the needle. Arms make a number 11 in front of you. Tuck your toes from here. And draw your belly in. Look down the front of you. Draw your ribs and belly in. Draw your low belly in. Get your hips up. And then keep the knees down. Just lift the hips to about shoulder height. Toes tucked. And then peel the knees up off the mat. You're in a forearm plank. Good. Walk the feet in, till you get to that stopping point in your shoulders. Push down into the elbows, lift up and out of the shoulders. Oh, good. Knees down. Untuck your toes. Roll yourself up to sit on your shins, hands to your hips. Use your hands to anchor your hips down and in as you float the chest up for a camel pose. Good. Belly in to come back upright. Hands to the mat. Down dog. Beautiful. Look forward, walk or step or hop. Feet meet the hands and roll up to stand, arms to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart and down at your sides. Left leg is your standing leg this time, hands to hips. Right knee comes up, widens to the right, and then find tree pose, Vrikshasana. So your hands help you figure out where you are in space. And they're just doing this gentle encouragement. Hips in, and then hips down, lift up, belly strong. Left leg stable, like you're pushing down, you're actually energizing this work. And then the connection of the right foot and the left leg is also very active. So the foot pushes into the leg pushes into the foot. Good. Knee moves forward, not warrior three, just a really simple transition. Right foot to the back of the back. Give yourself enough space. So take a big enough step back that you have quite a bit of space to spin the heel down, straighten your right leg, right toes in. It's warrior two to the back, warrior two-ish, because we're not using the arms. Your hands are activating the hips. Deep bend in the right leg. Yes, and then push your right leg straight. Turn your right toes in. So you have a wide stance. Elbows hug in towards each other. Lead with the heart, fold forward. Before you release your hands, listen. Right hand finds left outer leg or outer shin. Left arm sweeps over the right. Bend the knees, stick your butt back, widen the knees. Oh. And then send your hips up. Lift that X mark with the arms up. Backs of the hands or palms touch, elbows lift. Look over your left shoulder, turn the left toes to face forward, bend into the left knee. And then shoulder stretch here as the elbows move towards the back of the mat, the right, you're gazing softly over your left shoulder. And then you could try to thread your head between your arms. Lift your elbows up. You'll have to release at some point, that's fine. right hand to left elbow, straighten your left leg, sail up and back. Bend back into your left knee, release your left hand down to a block, skip the left foot forward as the right foot skips in, and then half moon. Push into your left foot like you did in tree, and keep narrowing the outer hips towards each other, even though you're in this weird relationship to gravity. Maybe right arm floats up. Good, breathe here, collect your breath. Come back to your intention, whatever that was. Surely the shape you're in has nothing to do with breath. And then slowly bend into your left knee. You're taking a giant, graceful-ish step back to warrior two, very traditional variation. And then flip your left palm, stay bent in your left knee as you radiate. Bend deeper into your left knee as you lift further up through your left fingertips. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down to frame your left foot. Left leg to the sky for dog split. Bend your knee, open your hip. Send the left leg straight back behind you. Inhale, ripple forward to plank. Exhale, lower to the belly. Tops of the feet down as the forearms slide forward. Bend your left knee. Pin the pubic bone down. A thigh stretch-ish. Hug the inner thighs towards each other. Good. And then look over your left shoulder. Widen the knee to the left. Slide it up to hip height. So you have an inner groin stretch. Very passive here. Possibly thread the needle left fingertips to the right. Your right hand can always make a pillow for your left temple. Let's take another breath or two. Beautiful. Slide your left leg long to meet your right. Right forearm to the mat if you thread the needle. Left forearm to the mat. Find a number 11 with your forearms. Look down the front of your body. Draw your ribs in, belly button in, hips in. Tuck your toes from here. Lift your hips up to shoulder height, so not super high. For me, it feels like that point where I start just shaking a little bit. And then with toes tucked, peel your knees up off the mat. Whoa. Take a breath in here. And then start to pike your hips up. Walk tippy toe if you have to, if you can. Feet in, hips to the sky. Elbows down, big shoulder opener. Oh yeah. Take one more breath. Knees down. Untuck your toes, roll your way to stand on your shins, hands to your hips. Camel shape, hips forward, chest lifts. Good. Belly in to support the low back as you come back up to stand on the shins. Hands to the mat. Down dog. Okay. Good. Let's run through that standing sequence one more time. We won't do tree pose. Now that you know it, we'll just do it with breath. You can feel it. Look forward, right leg to the sky. Right foot steps forward. Left heel spins down. Warrior two to the right. This time, arms to the sky, right leg straightens, right toes turn in. Left toes turn out as you warrior two to the back. Inhale, arms to the sky, left leg straightens, left toes turn in, fold forward. Left hand finds right shin, right hand reaches over left, bend the knees, hug the legs in, use the legs to push the hands away. Come up to stand, eagle wrap. Right toes face forward. Elbows go back as your gaze softens over your right shoulder. Thread your head between the arms as you release your left hand to your right elbow. Straighten your right leg, sail up and back. Good. Set up for half moon. Bend into your right knee. Right hand finds the block. Left hand to your hip as you. We took a mini thigh stretch on the ground. If you want to bend your knee here and reach for your foot, there's a full thigh stretch for you. Ooh. Good. You take one more moment here. Your transition is slow and controlled back to warrior two, piece by piece. Flip your palms, sail up and back. And float your hands to frame your right foot, dog split, right leg to the sky. Bend your knee, open your hip. If there's any part of you that wants to flip your dog, go right ahead. And instead of coming down to Sphinx this time, you can straighten your right leg behind you, maybe make your way through a one-legged vinyasa. Lots of options. We'll go right into the second side and then we'll chill. Oh, take a breath. We'll meet together. We'll look forward, left leg steps forward. Right heel spins down, warrior two. Inhale to straighten your right leg, turn your right toes in as your arms rise. Exhale, warrior two facing the back. Inhale, leg straightens, arms rise. And exhale to fold down the middle. Right hand finds left shin. Left hand finds right shin. Bend your knees, stick your butt back. Widen your knees against the resistance of your hands. And then stand tall. Eagle wrap. Left toes turn to face forward. Elbows reach to the back of the mat as your gaze softens over the left shoulder. Try to thread your head between your arms as you straighten your left leg. Find your left elbow and reverse. Good. Set up for half moon. Bend into your left knee. Find the block with your left hand, right hand to your hip to set up. If you want to take a thigh stretch here, bend your right knee, reach for your right foot. Narrow the hips in. Good. Graceful transition. Move slowly, stay intentional here. Even if you fall out of it, that's okay. We're always in a relationship with the things that are challenging. Keep your left leg straight as you reverse, as you radiate. Cartwheel your hands down, frame your left foot. Dog split. If you're prepared to flip it, go ahead. If you want to take a one-legged vinyasa, in addition to or instead of, go right ahead. And then let's meet in child's pose. Option to keep your elbows down on the ground, bring your hands together, and bring your touching palms to the space behind you, like the neck or the upper back. Let your breath soften. Collect yourself. Good. Anytime you're ready, release bent elbows, just lengthen the arms out in front of you. And it doesn't matter to me how you get there. We're going to meet in a seated position. So you can shift your way onto one side. You can kind of crawl, doesn't really matter at all. Send your legs straight out in front of you. We'll get into our hips and then we'll do our final rest. Left leg will stay straight, please. With your hands, help your right knee bend, bring the foot in, and then cross the right foot over to the outside of the left leg. Sweep your right fingertips behind you, possibly on a block, and then wrap your left arm around your right thigh. Lift up through the crown of your head and look over the right shoulder. So this is a twist. We haven't really done any twists today. So use this as an exercise in considering your whole self here. So what is happening with your left toes, your left leg, as you're focusing on your twist? Can you hold both of these things with the same attention? What's happening to your left sits bone? What's happening to your jaw? What's happening to your right shoulder? And for the last 2 breaths here, we're going to do plenty more with the hips. Just like we did in that eagle prep, hug the thigh in and push the arm away at the same time. Feel the hip. Good. Unravel from your twist, hands to either side of your hips. Lean back ever so slightly. Let your right leg drop open and then bend your left knee so your left foot is on the floor. This will be very individual for everyone. You can kind of crab walk your way forward with your hips until you find the right amount of hip stretch. And then do please lift your chest up, not your chin, your chest. Good. Last moment or two here. And then just like we did possibly at the beginning, let your whole figure 4 shape drop over to the right. You'll push yourself up to sit. And then from here, you can stay diagonal on your mat. I actually challenge you to. It's so hard to be asymmetrical. And then either cross-legged position or shin stacked on top of shin for a brief forward fold, or upright position if forward folding is not what's happening in your hips today. Just bring yourself back to your breath for another 3 cycles or so. Wherever you've gone, you don't have to judge that. You don't have to criticize it or put it into a right or wrong. Just bring yourself back, not a problem. Good. Release your hands behind you. You can stay asymmetrical on your mat. I challenge you. Lean back, put your feet on the floor. Give yourself a little windshield wipe. Oh. And then straighten your right leg. Bring your left knee in, cross your left foot over to the right. Right toes are active. Right arm. You can stay asymmetrical on your mat. I challenge you. He doesn't want to do it. Nobody wants to do it. If I got up, how many of you are asymmetrical still? We'll land in the right position. Left fingertips behind you. Lift up. Oh, big twist. And then to activate the hip, it's a real isometric action of hugging the leg in and pushing the arm away. And then just peek forward. Look at your right toes. Are they doing what you thought they were doing? We can strengthen our attention of ourselves. And as you're putting in this effort, right, what expression are you making on your face? One more breath here. Beautiful. Unwind. Hands to either side of your hips. And then you can lean back, let your left knee drape open, right leg bends, and then crab walk your seat forward. Oh. Feel what you feel. Just one more breath here so we have plenty of time to spend in the seated forward fold variation. When it's right for you, you can drop your hips or your legs to the right, which will probably also put you symmetrically placed on your mat. And if you're like me and you're sitting with a lot of imbalance today, please adjust accordingly so that you're getting the most productive experience for your hips. Feels so different. Last moment or two here. And when you're ready, when it's right, release your hands behind you, untangle the legs. You can drop the knees from side to side. When you're ready to come down onto your back, I'm putting on a layer because we're making our way to Shavasana. Come down onto your back, bring a block with you and take supported bridge pose as our segue to final rest. Unless you want an active bridge pose, you're more than welcome to that also. Restorative bridge is such a nice option for these evening classes to invite some of that kind of yin quality, that really receptive way of moving into towards the night. Let your hips be heavy. And let your breath get more and more subtle. So your inhales are smooth, and your exhales are equally as smooth. And slide the block out from underneath you as you're ready. If there's anything final that's calling to you, please honor that. We've done um, molds. So anything that you're craving is right. And then final rest is where we'll all meet together to close out this practice, this time together. We'll use it as our final shape, and then we'll close out in a different way. And then come back right away to the breath that you are working toward in your supported bridge pose. So ironing out, smoothing all the final ragged edges, the sticky spots of the breath. The inhale and the exhale is just really rhythmic. Iron out the places at the top and the bottom of the breaths, just like you did the ascension and the descension. So you have this really endless, smooth cycle. Make that transition from inhale to exhale completely seamless. It's really hard to tell where it begins and where it ends. And let yourself sink and soften, be held by the earth. Like you could possibly melt. And just like how it's hard to distinguish the place where the breath begins and the breath starts to end until where you begin and the earth ends, where the earth begins and you end. Just feel a sense of oneness. Take a deeper inhalation through the nose and let out a soft sound or a soft sigh. Observe the return of your senses. And then let go of stillness by moving around. Anything that feels right. We'll meet in a seated position. Any way you get there is just fine with me. seated position, gather your hands together in front of your heart and bow your chin to your chest. Just take a moment to acknowledge and to really contemplate the power that you have just because you're you. Climate, the social circumstances, as you sit with um, the smallness of who you are in this enormous context of the globe. Just don't forget the power of the choices that you make. Thank you so much for sharing your morning if you're watching the replay. It's always such a pleasure. Thank you, everyone.